A very good afternoon to one and all, and thank you for joining us today. On behalf of RV College of Architecture and the GlobEd team, I, Hiranmayi Shankavaram, take immense pleasure in inviting each one of you to GlobEd India 2023, a national event in exploring the prospects for higher education in architecture and allied disciplines. RV College of Architecture is a premier institution recognized for altruism in architectural education and research in India. RBCA continuously strives to offer high quality design education and nurtures collaborative platforms for critical design discourses. Along with connecting the students with the professional world, we also strive to provide them with platforms that connect and inform them on academic ventures that strengthen their futures. GlobEd is initiated as a formal guidance and assistance cell at RBCA to inform students about competitive higher education opportunities in architecture and allied disciplines. The GlobEd team, consisting of assistant professors Ajinkya, Vidya, and myself, have been hosting international institutions for the past 3 years with the primary intent of bringing together the academic world and engaging the students of architecture with the best universities. The objective of GlobEd is also to ensure that the students receive first-hand information on studying abroad by inviting student ambassadors, representatives, and alumni to share their lived experiences. This year, the objectives of GlobEd have extended to also curate a national level event, GlobEd India, hosting reputed universities across our country. We are immensely happy to have received overwhelming registrations from participants across colleges. Needless to say, the planning and execution of this event could not have been possible with the constant support of our principal, Dr. Om Prakash Bhavne, and the rest of RVCA team. I would now like to invite our principal to initiate this event with a few encouraging words.
Good afternoon, dear students and all the dignitaries from different institutions. A very warm welcome to RVCA. After having completed the first milestone of their academic journey, that is graduating, in our case, after doing the BR, a good number of students, they approach senior professors, they come to me, that is happening in other institution also, and they seek advice that what kind of program, what kind of course we should go for, and which are the good institutions where we can submit our application, make our applications. So this was a kind of a routine thing that would happen in the cabins of the faculty. This prompted us with the idea that why don't we biannually have some kind of a program or create some kind of platform where we invite the expertise from institutions of repute, universities of repute, requesting them to speak about the programs they are offering, the uniqueness of the program, and how that can shape their future career and what kind of avenue that could be enhanced after undertaking these programs. So with this idea, we had started this platform 3 years back, and I'm happy to state that we had in last 3 years we were happy to host number of universities from US, Canada, UK, and other parts of the world, and the students were really benefited, and that encouraged us to continue with this program. And this time the focus was that let us invite the institution of repute from our own country. I'm happy that this time in this particular version of GlobEd, which is focusing on the institution in India, I'm thankful that the authorities and the professors and experts from institutions like SEPT University Ahmedabad, NIT Ahmedabad, then Nikmar University Pune, Indian Institute of Human Settlement, and our own RV University experts have come forward to contribute to this platform and provide the insight of the program that are being offered through their campuses and how it can mold, how it can help molding their future career and avenues of opportunities after undertaking those courses. So I once again welcome all the experts to this platform and thank you very much for being us and accepting our invitation. Uh, I think my job has been made easy by Professor Hiranmay. She already explained that what was the purpose of doing. I think she gave the overview of an objective of this particular event. I welcome you all once again. I'm sure that all my students and other students from the other institution who are attending this program will certainly be benefited at the end of this 2-day session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. I would like to quickly throw some light on the details in the schedule. This 2-day hybrid interactive event is for students to understand the objectives, the structure, application processes, scope, and future prospects of some of the best courses offered in India. We begin the first session today with the Indian Institute of Human Settlements, IIHS Bengaluru, followed by the team from Srishti Manipal Institute of Art, Design and Technology, RB University, and joining us online will be the team from National Institute of Construction Management and Research, NICMAR, Pune. The second day, that is tomorrow, will be an online event hosting SET, NID, and Srishti again. Without further delay, I would like to now invite our student coordinators, Shruti and Yukta, to take over and introduce the first speaker of the day.
Good afternoon, everyone. I, Shruti Jayaraman, along with my classmate Yukta K, would like to take the honor of beginning the event. I request the participants to kindly adhere to certain protocols of the online session. Kindly stay muted while the session is on. If you have any clarifications regarding the topic in discussion, kindly use the raise your hand tool. We will give you an opportunity to talk after the session. You may also use the chat box to express your thoughts and put in any queries. We begin this event by inviting Professor Smita MB, the Senior Manager of the Academics at Indian Institute for Human Settlements. Professor Smita MB works with the Academics and Research team at the Academic Office of the Indian Institute of Human Settlements, India. She co-teaches Practica, a field-based component, build, and activity-based course in the core curriculum of the UFP and conducts heritage walks in Bangalore. She co-wrote and coordinated the publication process of a book on UFP's pedagogy called Towards a New Urban Practice. Ms. Smita was a professor of architecture and program coordinator of the Center for Smart and Sustainable Technologies at SJB School of Architecture and Planning, Bangalore, where she taught theory and studio courses, conducted international architectural research and study travels, and established academic partnerships. Professor Smita has held various academic and professional positions in the USA and India. These include independent architectural and planning consultancies in India, healthcare planning at the University of Pennsylvania Health Systems, Penn Medicine, Philadelphia, USA, teaching engagements at Temple University, USA, the University of New Mexico, USA, and at various institutions in Bangalore, India. Her interests lie in the expressions of identity, modifications of cultural markers, and the intersections of built environment, food systems, and accessibility-oriented transportation planning. Welcome, ma'am.
We have Professor Subai with us as well today, and he is the external consultant of academics at Indian Institute for Human Settlements. Professor Subai works with the academics and research team at the Academic Office, Indian Institute of Human Settlements, IIHS India, for placements, alumni relations, and academic outreach. He delivers multi-sector internship placements for IIHS learners and graduates, manages long-term alumni relations to develop the growing IIHS alumni community with multi-city chapters, and assists with year-round academic outreach. Professor Subai organized the panel discussion and an IIHS library exhibit, Unrestricted, confronting expressions of cultures and connections in public spaces, and co-wrote a chapter and worked with multiple IHS teams on the design layout of a book on UFP's pedagogy called Towards a New Urban Practice. Professor Subai is a practicing architect with over 35 plus architectural and interior projects in firms like Taller as Design and Abhikalp Srishti Karyashala. He has taught architectural journalism and writing, basic design and art appreciation courses as visiting faculty at the SJB School of Architecture and Planning, Bengaluru, and is the chief editor for a students' magazine on architecture, Not GT. He is an active design journalist with published articles in Rethinking the Future, the Ghost Writing for Artists, Digital Bloggers, Fashion Lines, and Mobile Applications. He won a national award for architectural poetry in 2020 from Art, Architecture, and Aesthetics Foundation, Chandigarh. Professor Subai is also a certified wildlife volunteer by the Karnataka Ecotourism Development Board and has worked actively since 2014 on tiger and bird sciences, forest cleanups, and management of traffic and Jatri crowds in the forest area of Karnataka. Welcome, sir. It's good to have you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. And thank you so much for the generous introduction and this invitation to come to RV, which is a familiar ground for myself and Subay, and reconnect with some of the faculty we know and interact with a lot of the students that we don't know. So this is a fantastic opportunity to be here. And as always, RV is encouraging the entire fraternity, actually, the student crowd and faculty and professionals in architecture and allied fields to share our knowledge and opportunities with each other. So very happy to be here at this very unique event. So with that, I am happy to represent IHS today and specifically talk about the teaching learning programs and approach at IHS. It is spread across various programs. I'll specifically focus on the Urban Fellows program, called in general as the UFP program. So what is this all about? We at IHS believe that India's urbanization is the second largest rural to urban transition in human history, and it brings with it complex set of challenges. Managing this complexity is very important, not just technology oriented or capital, which is finance, but to create a new generation of interdisciplinary urban scholars and practitioners with the right skills, perspectives, and tools. The Indian Institute for Human Settlements is a national educational institution committed to this challenge. The IHS is currently a 300 and odd strong institute with significant portfolios of research, practice, education, and I would add capacity building based out of Bengaluru, Delhi, and Chennai offices. Our work spans all urban sectors that include housing, land, climate change, water, sanitation. So if anyone in the room has any grouse about the traffic or wonder about the weather or your neighbors being too close to your apartment block, all these are urban issues. All these come under some of these complex challenges, as we like to call it, wicked problems. The IHS is part of a network of international academic and practice institutions, including the MIT, UCL, University of Cape Town, ILO, etc. The IHS board members include eminent personalities such as Renana Jawabwala, Nandan Nilekani, Vijay Kelkar, among others. The teaching philosophy of IHS is broadly across the 3 points: interdisciplinarity, focus on the urban, and heterodox approaches. A lot of architecture students and urban design students do join IHS for its various programs. This is not a design-based curriculum. So what do I mean by that? By interdisciplinarity, the interdisciplinarity is across all our programs. UFP, which is Urban Fellows Program, UPP, which is Urban Practitioners Program, DBL, which is Digital Blended Learning Program, etc. We focus on metro cities as well as Tier 1 and Tier 2 towns and cities, the rural settlements, and other forms of human settlements. So when we say urban or urbanization, it is not just metropolitan cities. It is rural to urban transitions and everything in between, the metro cities and non-metro cities. Our teaching draws from active research and academic partnerships, as the videos talked about, live IHS projects and deep UN partnerships. So any student who joins our programs will be exposed to some of these projects that are going on currently at IHS. All the faculty teach from these active projects. Some examples from the digital blended learning program are training mid-career public officials, the IAS, IFS, Indian Forest Service, Indian Army, etc. We have trained over 6,000 public officials and 1,200 IAS officers. The IHS SDG Academy Global MOOC on sustainable cities have exceeded our expectations with number of registrations across the globe. The IHS Coursera partnership for online courses are popular as well. The IHS practice has faculty teaching from live projects which I mentioned, which include sanitation, climate action, urban risk and resilience, housing, land, with a diverse partner base. So, for example, in sanitation, our TNU SSP, that is Tamil Nadu Urban Sanitation Support Program, actually serves over 3.5 million people through one of the largest public on-site fecal sludge treatment in the world. But it is not just on-site fecal sludge treatment, but it is a complete water cycle that TNU SSP team is involved in across Tamil Nadu. So our fellows actually get to learn about all the ways of managing water, wastewater, potable water, community toilet management, menstrual hygiene and health, public awareness project, community development projects, everything which is included in the water waste cycle. So climate action has IHS contributing to the 1.5C implementation plan in COP26 and scaling adaptation actions across 3 states. So we've actually produced publications which help urban local bodies to see how they can incorporate and implement some of the recommendations from COP26. So this goes on and on. We work with a lot of state and central governments, slum redevelopment boards, for example. So the fellows who come to the program of the Urban Fellows program or the learners in other programs get case studies, examples, and teaching from some of these live projects. So that is why we call it a heterodox approach. It is not set in stone year on year. Every year, the teaching curriculum is dynamic. The courses are dynamic. So it is a very influx kind of program, but the learning outcomes remain the same. The learning outcome has to do with why fellows actually come to the program. So in order to enable this, we have a faculty who are diverse and experienced across the different schools that we have: governance, public policy, human development, economic development, and so on. I encourage you to look at the UFP website to look at some of our faculty profiles. So we are committed to bridging the theory and practice gap, and we have many full-time practitioners, as I said, from a range of academic disciplines and practice domains. So the Urban Fellows program itself, I'll focus on one of our first flagship program. It is a 9-month interdisciplinary scholarship-based residential program based out of the IHS Bengaluru City campus. This is in Sadashiv Nagar. So it introduces fellows to diverse forms of urban practice, and we equip them with interdisciplinary training and skills to understand complex urban issues. We have over 200 alumni who have graduated and they're working in many different sectors. So why should someone be an urban fellow? If any of you in the room, as I said, is bothered by the urban issues and you want to do something about it, and again, this is not a design-based approach. I know I'm in a school of architecture and design, but I'm sure through all your projects with a lot of background work and research, you would have gathered a lot of information that you cannot apply to your design projects or which inform the outcome of your design project. So we are trained as architects to think about problem and solution. However, there is a lot in between where we have to learn to negotiate and manage a problem, not really end up with a solution. So we will help you to develop the skills for this. You will understand issues of urbanization in India and the global south from multiple disciplinary perspectives. So we have faculty who are trained as economists, as political science researchers, as experts in affordable housing, again not design but affordable housing policy, and I talked about sanitation, for example. So we have faculty who are engaged in live research and implementable projects across India. So you will learn from them and having a multidisciplinary perspective of the urban issues that you are concerned about. You will learn from practice by all the faculty as young professionals who seek to enter the urban sector. So you will develop skills for real life problems because of this. You will engage with thought leaders. Like our little video showed, we have a lot of master classes by eminent personalities who come in and take classes for our fellows and talk about how they approached a problem and what they are engaged in. You acquire interdisciplinary knowledge. This means that maybe in a class you'll be interacting with folks from urban design backgrounds, architecture, economy, political science, humanities, social science, fine arts, media and journalism, for example, M-Tech or maybe B-Tech. So you have people from different disciplines who are joined together in the same cohort. So you gain that interdisciplinary perspective of how different disciplines think through the same problems, how you learn to negotiate through this, and you gain urban work experience because we guarantee internships. So the UFP curriculum, what does it have? It draws from the IHS curriculum and our vision for teaching and training. It is co-created in partnerships with the world's leading universities, in addition to nearly 100 practitioners and scholars from across India. There are 8 key learning elements. You had that interactive graph that you saw in the video. So you have it up here on the screen for a while to look at. So we have a core curriculum which goes across the 3 terms. We have commons term, electives term, and a practice term. The core curriculum of build, grow, cook, eat, and play are taught across the 3 terms. So you actually learn how to sow ragi and paddy, how to harvest it, how to cook, how to actually cook for large numbers of people. We think we know how to cook, but can we cook for 100 people? What are the skills that are required? It's not just cooking, but procurement, storage, prep work, and cleaning up afterwards. And then what happens to the food waste? We have an on-site compost system in our Kengeri campus. Fellows learn about composting and again are involved in using the compost for the food farm. And play. Play includes yoga, swimming, cycling, mental health through play, extreme frisbee, for example, and all these are credited courses. And then in the commons term, we have commons courses across the 6 layers, and we have skill labs through IHS labs. IHS labs are a word lab, we have GIS lab, we have the media and skills lab, the urban informatics lab. Urban informatics lab actually teaches quantitative data analysis and quantitative skills. And GIS, as all of you know, is geospatial skills. Media teaches about audiovisual, photography, videography, how to put together a documentary, and so on. So the names are quite self-explanatory. So we have skill labs, basic and advanced skill labs, and Practica. So Practica is a group-based, field-based learning component. And we have the skill labs, Practica, and projects. Projects are actually running in the practice term, and those are live IHS projects, and you'll work under a mentor who is a researcher at IHS. And we have exposure visits. Actually, today I was coordinating all our exposure visit groups. All our fellows have gone to 3 different cities this year, Chennai, Mumbai, and Hyderabad. So fellows go there, interact with local planners, policymakers, folks who are from community development organizations, the community themselves, environmental organization, learn all the different components they have been hearing about in class, but on the field, not in Bangalore, but in a different city. And that is also covered as part of the entire curriculum. And then, of course, we have electives. As the name suggests, it is a choice-based course system. Masterclass runs across, and as I talked about, we have internships. So to make it a little easier to understand, core goes all across commons, electives, and practice term. The commons have the 6 layers, and we have practica which sits in the commons. Practica is a group-based field work. So you learn the skills in the skill labs, and as you are learning, you go to a city neighborhood and you try to look at what the site is telling you and come up with your own group projects and try to apply research methodologies. Then the skill labs actually run across the commons and electives terms. Master classes also run across commons and electives term. The practice term actually has, as I mentioned, IHS live projects, independent projects. So that is a category for a lot of our fellows who are already enrolled in a PhD program or want to do their PhD and they want to develop their specific dissertations. So they are actually mapped to the mentors who are researchers across IHS, and they get their mentorship for 2 months and help to develop their dissertations or independent investigations. May not be PhD as well. We have had fellows in the past who have been working on a book and they joined the UFP because of their driving desire to understand all the complexities of the urban, because they were writing novels. They are now published authors, so they wanted to understand the complexity. So they joined the UFP and they pursued their book writing retreat during the 2 months under guided mentorship. So that also comes under independent projects. So people who come with maybe only a bachelor's degree without a significant internship experience do select the internship option, or folks who come with both a bachelor's and master's degree but want to explore internships in a different sector from where they are traditionally slotted and they want to shift the sectors. This is also an opportunity for them to explore that. So I'm talking about folks from a PhD background, master's and bachelor's. So you must be wondering, what is the composition of the class? The composition of the class includes all kinds of disciplines and folks from different educational backgrounds. And that education background includes discipline as well as level of education. So you may sit in a class with someone who has enrolled into a PhD program with a master's degree, or you may sit in a class with someone who has a master's or double master's. You may also sit in a class with somebody who has gone through the open university system and does not have the conventional degree in hand. So there is a mix of people from different levels of education, different disciplinary backgrounds, and they all make this learning journey together. And that is why we have the first term, which is called as the commons term. It is common to everyone, getting everyone on the same platform, upgrading everyone's skills or teaching new skills, and then you apply it into your choice-based course in the electives term. So if you are from architecture, I think most of you are from an architecture background, you can learn about the economist way of looking at the same wicked problem in the urban. You can look at how a political science major looks at the problem. So we've had fellows who come with significant life experiences, but no traditional degree. So that is also accepted. That's why we call the UFP an open classroom. So just like an open university, it is an open classroom. So we've had fellows with just a +12, but I wouldn't call it a just. They come with significant 5 to 6 years of experience working with communities and maybe tribal populations across India, for example, and they are accepted into the UFP program. So what is the criteria for someone to be accepted in the UFP program? That is your drive and your desire to engage with the urban, not metropolitan cities only, but tier 2 towns, the rural urban transformation, and engage in all these urban issues. Your drive, your desire to look beyond your own disciplinary silo and see how you can incorporate different interdisciplinary perspectives. So the commons, as I said, the 6 core themes, these are up on our website. I wouldn't take much of your time. I would encourage you to please go through this. So we have built environment identity, for example, very crucial, law, governance, policy, all the way till urban ecology, environment, and sustainability. All these are taught by our senior faculty and anchors of the research teams and the schools that we are developing at IHS. So, for example, the person who, the group which teaches urban ecology, environment, and sustainability are involved with national and global scale environmental issues, urban risk and resiliency, the COP26 climate change policies, and things like that. So, you will actually hear from them, you will learn from them. Electives, we have many different types of electives. It is sector specific, which is housing policy practice, national urban missions. National urban missions are like your JNNURM, Jal Jeevan Mission, PMAY. So these are national urban missions. We know the names. How do they translate into the urban local body? What does it mean to you as a citizen or your client or your demographics? That is what you will learn. Thematic courses, this is fairly straightforward. Technical or methods courses, these are like advanced skill labs. Theory courses, especially the Southern Urban Theory, where there is a call to develop Southern theory, because a lot of our theories in the urban is from the Northern Hemisphere, and there is a global effort of researchers and practitioners and theoreticians to see how it is applicable specifically to India and the global South. So Practica and projects, I've explained this. Practica is site-based in group. Projects are individual, or it could be 2 or 3 people or more in a team working on an external project, a live IHS project. And this is mapped to your skills and interest. So you get to choose and we get to choose you, whether you are a fit for a particular project or not. So for example, we worked with Rajasthan Mahila Kamagar Union. So that was a lot of social work, lot of community work, boots on the ground kind of work. So that requires someone to be strongly embedded in field-based research practice. So there are a lot of these mapping that goes across the board. You get to choose, we get to choose you, and back and forth. So the skill labs, as I have covered, required skill labs or the basic skill labs. This is required in the commons. Everyone must and should. Even if you are familiar with a particular skill lab, you still go through that. Someone, you may not be familiar with a different kind of skill lab. Coming from an architecture background, most architecture students gravitate towards GIS or spatial appreciation, for example, but then we are afraid of numbers. So the data skill lab becomes very critical, that you absorb the data skill lab. Go back to your mean, mode, median, all the quantitative analysis and so on. Some of the elective skill labs that have been offered in the past are advanced GIS, climate analysis of a city, IoT, how do you apply Internet of Things for a smart city, IoT lab, advanced media lab. There have been many. These are just a few. So exposure visits, I talked about it. Through the years, fellows have traveled to different places. Master classes, I have again mentioned that we provide opportunities to meet thought leaders and practitioners from across India and across the world to learn about their work and the challenges they face as practitioners in different disciplines and domains. What does that mean, actually? So master classes have been taught by Lorraine Kennedy, who is the CNRS Research Director, Anand Lakhan, who is an activist and a researcher based in Madhya Pradesh, Darshini Mahadeviya, Professor, Faculty of Planning at CEPT University, Harsh Mandar, who is a human rights and peace worker, a writer, columnist, Nikhil Day and Aruna Roy, social activist, Mazdoor Kisan Shakti Sangathan, Kiran Keswani, co-founder, Everyday City Labs in Bangalore. So there are many like this. So if you are up there on the screen, again, encourage you to go through our website to learn a little bit more about all the different people who have taken master classes in the past. So internships, in the practice term, fellows can choose either to do the live IHS project under a research team with guided mentorship, or the independent project as I talked about, or opt for a 2-month internship with an external organization. It is a choice. Typically, everyone wants to do all of the 3, but you can't. You have to select one. Internships are curated across a range of institutions, public, private, small, large, as well as across sectors of urban practice. Last year, actually, we had 80 organizations offering over 110 internship opportunities to our UFP fellows. So this gives you a quick snapshot of how a typical class looks like. across the years from 2016 to this year, which is currently running. We've had architecture and urban design, an overwhelming number of applications, even social sciences and economics, political science, humanities. We've tried to balance that out, I think, over the years. So we've had more representation from science and environmental sciences. So we are carefully watching where our representation comes from. So in a typical class, you do not have an overwhelming majority of any single disciplinary group. Because we try to mimic the actual practice condition as close as possible. So the places in India from where our fellows come from across the years again. So they're from all over India. We still have a small gap in the map. Hopefully we'll fill it this year. UFP internships across India. We encourage internship placements in different parts of India with our institutional partners as well as external organizations who are not our partners. So fellows have interned right from the north till the south, east to west in fantastic range of sectors. Projects also, the IHS live projects are spread all across India. They are not focused only on one city. So where do fellows go after the UFP? What is the future? So we have mapped that. We have all these disciplines that fellows come from. These have been the mode of practices where they eventually go. So academic research institutions, a lot of them, as I mentioned, do go on to their PhDs and other higher education. They go into developmental organizations. That is very popular actually. Government, we have elected representatives in the government in different parts of India who have developed their interest through the UFP program. Politics, private enterprise, of course, but private enterprise consulting looking at urban issues. So someone from a legal background may want to work on human rights law of urban projects on behalf of the UN-based organizations locally. So that gives you an idea of how someone could stay in their own disciplinary track, but their sectoral engagement may change. Professional services, think tanks and do tanks. Which places UFP fellows went across India? So again, post graduation, they've settled in different parts of India. We have a huge cluster actually in Ahmedabad and the Mumbai region. Subhe just opened a Mumbai alumni chapter this week, and we have a Bangalore chapter. I'm wearing the badges, proud to show that off. So we have a Bengaluru chapter and we have a Delhi chapter. Soon we'll have probably a Chennai or a Tamil Nadu chapter. So we have a lot of alumni clustered around our IHS presence partner locations. So that is a fantastic situation actually. And our alumni engagement is pretty strong. So alumni are involved with different cohorts. So we have cross cohort mentorship. They come in for workshops, they train current fellows, they talk about different sectoral engagements, they are part of our library exhibits, they have panel discussions, and all that is driven by the academic office as well as faculty researchers. So for example, we had a library exhibit which looked at marginalization, and we had fellows from different parts of India, of course, but their interest was on different aspects of marginality through language, through geography, through caste, gender issues. So we had a fantastic panel discussion and photography exhibition based on that. So we have a very strong alumni engagement. So if you make it into the UFP program, you are assured that you are part of our growing alumni network. You get email for life, you get library access for life, and you get different kinds of opportunities within IHS, which continues throughout your practice. Fellows have gone internationally. These are all the different places that we have fellows currently studying and working. So please visit our website, get to know more about the UFP. We have number of webinars, Insta Live sessions that have happened in the past. It will happen again. So watch our page. Our social media is very active. We have an alumni LinkedIn page, only for, of course, the alumni, but Other than that, we have an institutional social media handles. So write to us. I encourage all of you to please get in touch with me, and even folks online listening into this presentation, please get in touch with me, Smita MB, at the Academic Office IHS, or Subhe Beberwal, who is with me at the Academic Office. We'll be very happy to talk to you and answer any specific question you may have or give you further information. So please keep in mind it is interdisciplinary. The program itself may change dynamically year on year because it is linked to our live research projects and practice projects. So it depends on who can teach what they can teach every year and how it is taught. However, the learning outcomes are the same year on year. We hope to create an interdisciplinary cohort of urban practitioners who want to engage with urban issues across India and the global south. Whether as researchers, we consider research to be practice as well. So whether as researchers or someone who works in a specific sector. So please get in touch with us. Very happy to talk to you. And I'd like to remind you, it is a scholarship-based program. We provide accommodation, food, and transportation service at no extra cost to any fellow, whether you have a scholarship or not. So with that, thank you so much. Thanks for your patience, and we welcome you to IHS in any form also. We have a lot of public events and programs. It may help you to get a little bit of taste of what IHS is and what our different programs are. I encourage you to watch the IHS page and come for any of our public events in person or online. And that is my talk for today. Thank you. So do we take any question and answers now? Okay. I'll be happy to take any questions or any comments as well. So the application cycle usually opens in March and the program starts in August. So you have a March to May, end of May, 9-month teaching cycle. Applications usually open in April, March, those months. And then the admission process goes on, and you will hear. Yeah, so the applications open in the month of March, April, and you'll hear back from us if you made it into the program at different stages of the admission. The UFP actually starts in August and then goes on till the end of May, and graduation will be in either June or July. That is our annual cycle. So any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
My question is that as an architecture student, we have our portfolios and we have our projects that we do. So in order to apply, what content would you be looking at? Like, what are you looking for?
Thank you. I think that's a great question. This is the burning question persistently year on year for all architecture design students. You have beautiful portfolios, you have fantastic works of design that come under work samples in our application itself. So the application will be a multi-part application usually. In the past, there has been, of course, your personal information and an essay component. There are 2 to 3 essay questions. This is in the past. We will have to devise, we'll have to look at what is there for 24-25. So thus far, the UFP application is a multi-part application process with at least 2 to 3 essay questions, and there is an opportunity to upload a sample of work. Now that sample of work need not be your portfolio. It can be your portfolio, and it can be any other work that exhibits your engagement with urban. So again, by urban, I don't mean only metropolitan cities. It could be communities in metropolitan cities, areas in metropolitan cities, or policies in metropolitan cities, but it is a wide open field. It can be all across geographical scales. So we've had fellows in the past who have uploaded their work samples of their thesis, for example, not the entire thesis, but a section of their thesis, which is academic work, or their actual professional work, working for, let us say, a development organization or an NGO sector or a private sector, which looked at a specific urban problem, whether it is data analysis or field-based research work or contributing to a policy paper. So it could be a range of different samples, but that should actually be very clear what is your role in it, if it is a group work or if it is a professional piece of work. So if it is part of your job description and you have done a beautiful piece of work, we need to know what was your role in that, and you can apply that, upload that as well. So we do get a lot of design portfolios from architecture students, but just general design portfolio will not make too much of sense or applicability here, because we do not judge you based on your design at all. This is not a design program where we are judging your ability to evolve beautiful designs. We want to know what is the impact or what was the causality for your design, right? So if you think through, how does your design sit with the urban? What is that issue that is driving you, making you passionate, happy, sad, angry, any of those emotions? Therefore, how does your design link with that? So that has to come across in a work sample. A simple portfolio uploading may not really help you. So anyone else, any thoughts? Even if you don't have questions, any thoughts?
I just had a very happy moment when you said you really appreciate people who are not coming from a traditional training background, but then they have life practice, and those practitioners or people are welcome. So I find the program very thoughtful. So
It is.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you so much. It is. That's what makes me very happy to be a part of this program. It's definitely, other than my professional spiel here, I'm very passionate about this program because of that. Yeah. Thank you.
Let's talk about the scholarship application. How does that work? Could you let us know more about it?
Sure. So there's a question about scholarships to the UFP program. UFP is a scholarship-based program. By that, what we mean is that there are two steps to this. The application itself is a need-blind application process. There is no fee for the application. The application is open on our IHS website. Anyone across India, they have to be Indian citizen. OCI card holders or internationals at this point are not allowed to apply. You have to be an Indian citizen. Anyone across any geographical scale of India can access our application and apply either online, download it and fill it up by hand and mail it to us through the traditional post system. That is accepted. So there, at the first step, there is no fees for the application process itself. If you get selected, there are a couple of different rounds. The first round, of course, sifting through the application material, and you'll be called in for an interview. If you pass the interview stage and you're made an offer to join the program, you have to accept to join the program. We give you all the choice and all the right to say, no, I really don't want your program, or yes, I want to join the UFP. Once we are through that hoop, then we open up opportunities to apply for financial assistance. So we assume that everyone who has made it through that stage could have a need for financial assistance. Everyone. So 100% of the people who make it through that particular stage, the interview stage, can apply for scholarships. So the financial aid, it's again on our website. I encourage you to have a look at it. It's in 3 different types of financial assistance. One is a security deposit waiver. We require a security deposit from all the fellows, which will be refundable and returned at the end of the program. But if you cannot pay the security deposit, you can apply for a waiver of that. That is the second level, other than the free application. Then the actual second financial assistance is a tuition fee waiver. You can apply for a part or a full tuition fee waiver, and you have to provide supporting documents for all of this to prove that you just don't have the finances to meet the tuition. So the tuition fee this year, UFP 23-24 is 2.4 lakh plus GST. So you can apply for that particular scholarship, and we'll consider it on a case-by-case basis. We'll consider your specific case and context and the reasons why you have given and the supporting documents that you have given. We suggest a list of supporting documents, but it is not mandatory. Anything that supports your ask, you can submit that. And the third is a living assistance stipend. So if you say that, yes, I don't need a security deposit waiver, I can meet my own tuition fee expense. However, I don't have enough money to cover my month-to-month living expense in Bangalore. So there is a small fund that we do give out as a monthly living assistance stipend. You can apply for a full stipend, and we do consider whether you can get a full or a part living assistance stipend. So the scholarships are across these three categories: security deposit waiver, tuition fee waiver, and a monthly allowance for the 9 months of the UFP program. Now, you may or may not get full or part of all of these categories. However, irrespective of whether you are a scholarship holder or you're getting any of these forms of financial assistance or not, even if you are a full paying tuition student or a part or a no tuition paying student, irrespective of that, the entire class will get housing, food and transportation at no additional charge, and no additional charge for any of these exposure trips. The travel, accommodation, food on the exposure trip, everything is taken care of by IHS. Okay, I hope that was clear, and hope to see many applicants to our 24-25 cycle of the UFP. Please watch our website and get in touch with us. Thank you so much.